What's going on, guys? Well, it's time to talk knives. We're going to do another knife review. Well, we won't do anything. I will. You'll watch it, so I guess we're participating together. I always say that. We're ready to do another review. Who? Just me. So anyway, that's okay. The knife we're talking about today is the steel will Gekko. This is a model 1500. It's a beautiful traditional style lockback. Just really well done. I am a huge fan of this knife. My first experience with steel will as a company was when I tried the Bruiser model 500. Very cool, definitely more tactical compared to this one. This is more of a traditional style. And I was impressed with the Bruiser. However, this thing is 10 notches above that. Okay, this thing is pretty perfect. There's not much I can say that's negative about this. Literally the only thing that comes close to me saying something negative on this particular knife is that it's a little bit chunky. It's coming in at 6.3 ounces, so I've noticed it in my pocket, but that's for two reasons. Number one, I've EDC'd a lot of lighter knives in recent weeks and months, so, you know, that's obviously going to stand out a little bit, being a little chunkier. And number two, you guys know I carry a buttload of gear. If you watch my EDC videos, you'll understand that. So yeah, I mean, is it a negative? To some people it will, it will be. It's not, it really wasn't a big deal to me. I did notice it, but I have to mention it because there's a lot of people out there who are just fanatical about having a knife under a certain weight. Okay, so if 6.3 is above your threshold, then you're missing out because this is a beautiful piece of cutlery. But anyway, let's talk about some other specs. 9 inches overall, okay, 5.1 inch handle, beautiful micarta on some stainless liners. I'll give you a better shot of that micarta in a second here. Our blade is 3.8 inches, okay. It is a flat grounds drop point blade. Love that swedge. Very sexy looking knife, but very purposeful. A little bit of belly, nothing crazy going on here, no crazy grinds or anything, just simplicity done very well. Nice point on there. It's 0.14 inches thick. All right, see that beautiful rounded spine. I'll have to get tight in there so you can see that. Continues down past that jimping, and this lock bar is all rounded, and even our backspacer is rounded, all the way to that nice little, that skull crusher. I know, right? So people call them skull crushers. I don't know who's crushing skulls, but I suppose if you really need to, you could. I don't know. But it's cool to have that little feature on a classy looking knife. You know, it's not all tacked out. But anyway, let's go back to that blade. This is made with a Bowler N690 CO. Now, I'm trying to think of something I could reference you to because I know I talked about Bowler N690 before in the past. Bowler is Austrian made. And so a lot of times you'll see N690 being used on European knife companies just because it's available there. The Benchmade monochrome, I know that's sporting N690. I did that review a really long time ago though. I probably elaborate a little bit more on the steel if you want to check out that review. But that is old. I mean, that was back when Benchmade had their red class. The Benchmade monochrome is a phenomenal knife though. I love it. I miss it. I wish I had one again. That's the knife I took on my trip with my grandfather across the US. When I do my storytime videos and talk about that, that was my EDC for that entire month out on the road, Benchmade monochrome. But anyway, yeah, N690, a lot of people call it the Austrian version of 440C, and I want to say it's more than that. It is by its like makeup very similar to 440C, only there's added cobalt and vanadium to N690. But I want to say that it definitely surpasses 440C in its edge retention. It's very easy to sharpen, but it performs more like a 154 CM, all right, from my experience. And I've had it in a handful of knives, not just the monochrome in this one. But more recently using this, obviously, it kind of familiarized myself with its performance, and it's very good. I really like it. I mean, it's razor sharp. It's hair popping sharp still right now. And no sharpening since I got this. Use it a bunch, but I do strop my knives. I do maintain that edge, so it's just really nice. N690 is good to go, in my opinion. But I do think it's undersold sometimes. That's the point I want to make there, is people will say, yeah, it's like 440C. Yeah, I think it's better than that. But anyway, what else? Yeah, let's talk about some of the details on this knife. Let me zoom in. All right, so I zoomed you in here. Let's take a better look at that micarta. It is beautiful. It's natural micarta, so it's not polished out or anything. It's got that nice natural feel to it. It's like, it feels like denim, very similar to that. It's not super grippy. It's not super smooth. It's like somewhere in between. Okay, you can see the coloration on here. It's almost looks like a snake skin. But I mean, it's beautiful. I think it really goes well with this knife. All right. Again, I talked about that rounded spine. The blade goes all the way up to the tip, you know, like on a Sebenza. We have a little run of jimping here. It's also like a thumb ramp. You can see how the thumb naturally rests there. It's beautiful. It's actually a pretty acutely cut. Okay, basically there are very fine points there, so it's very grippy. Okay, even though it's a small little run, you think, oh, what's that going to do? Well, it locks your thumb in very tightly. It's very nicely done. That rounded spine continues down in our lock bar here. Okay, see that pivots up. That's our lock bar. Also rounded, very nicely done. Same deal, very sharp jimping here. Not sharp enough where it's going to irritate your thumb, but it is very purposeful. When you go to hit that lock, you're not going to slip off of it. Okay, and then our back spacer, again, also rounded out to that skull crusher. You know what I'm saying? Skull crushing life. So yeah, and you can see there is a little lanyard there. It is kind of a small lanyard. Everyone knows the trick though. If you want to get your 550 through there, you get one of your inner strands and you kind of fish it through. A million videos on that on YouTube. All right, so let's talk about this pocket clip here. Okay, you notice on the other side there are some holes tapped. Okay, so it is a tip up carry, but it can be swapped to left side if you didn't want to use it on the right side. If you're lefty, obviously this is an ambidextrous knife. There is ambidextrous thumb studs. They're the pyramid style studs, but they're not too sharp. Trying to think of an example. The Kershaw Vapor is one that always stands out in my mind. Those pyramid thumb studs were really pointy and it was very uncomfortable to use. This is very nice. The knife itself is super, super smooth. You can flick this out. I generally don't with this knife, but if you want to, pops right out. But yeah, being a lockback, having the dual thumb studs here, it is truly ambidextrous. So if you wanted to swap that clip to left side carry, it'll be perfect for a lefty. Tension's very nice on it. Okay, again, the handle, not super grippy, but not super smooth. It grabs in the pocket. It holds very nicely. Again, this is what you're basically seeing here. Let me do that. All right, so that's what's poking out of the pocket. Of course, unless you throw a lanyard on there. But yeah, I mean, it's just really nicely done. The knife is just so smooth. It's so beautiful. It's so nicely done. I love this knife. This really is perfection. Of course, you know, you pick your preferred steel and change it to that, it'd be even better. I really like this knife. It's a very good performing knife, but I think it's very slick looking. It is leaning more towards the gentleman's type knife as opposed to everything being so tactical these days, so it's nice to have that. This is marketed to be an outdoor style folder. You know, I don't know about that. It's a Foley knife. It is strong. The lockback lock on this is very strong. But, you know, I don't know. I would still use this more as an EDC knife. I wouldn't really use this outdoors per se. If you're going outdoors, there is no folder for you. You got to go fixed blade. You know, if you're going to do it right. If you're doing backyard camping, then yeah, I'm sure this is plenty. But if you're really getting out there and doing the outdoor stuff, fixed blade all the way. But, I mean, it's a beautiful knife. I absolutely love it. As far as price tag, you're looking at under 200 bucks, which is actually a little surprising to me. I think originally it was like 230 or something, but you can find these online for 190-ish, like 195, I think on Amazon. I think I saw one on eBay too, around the same price. Check your dealers too though. The Steel Wheel is making it around to some of the major suppliers and dealers out there, so wherever you can get the best price, go for it. I do always like supporting the dealers as well, as opposed to eBay or Amazon or something. It's always a nice addition. Sometimes, not often, I admit, but sometimes I will pay a couple extra bucks to get it from a dealer that I like, that I know is reputable, just to help support them. You know, what's another $5 to throw it to the knife place, you know, as opposed to the master Walmart of the internet, which is Amazon or eBay. But whatever, I'm not going to get onto talking about that stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful knife. I think it's worth the $200. That's a lot of times these knife reviews, that's what it comes down to, right? Is okay, it's this, 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 and this, but you know, here's the price. Is it worth it? I do think it's worth it in this case. It's a beautiful knife done, but it's going to perform for you. It's not just a showpiece, you know, but it's not that $400 and $500 custom either, or semi-production, I should say, you know, because a lot of the customs are even more than that. You get into $400 or $500 production knives or semi-production knives, you know, sometimes it's hard to justify, but anyway, this is a beautiful piece of cutlery from Italy, very well done. So still very impressed with steel wheel. So there you go. There's my review on the steel wheel model 1500 Gekko. Hope you guys enjoy the review, of course, like always. If you have this knife, please post your comments down below. Let people know how long you've had it, what you think of it, how it's performing for you. But I am definitely a fan. Very cool knife. So there you go. One last thing to mention, I don't have it anymore, but all the steel wheel knives come with a massive presentation box. I mean, there's like a sleeve, it slides out of the sleeve, and then it's like Velcroed in. It's really nicely done. It's overkill for packaging, but if you're one of these guys that just buy these things and throw it into a safe, you'll love the packaging. You know what I mean? As far as resale down the road, it's very impressive. So just thought I'd mention that. Unfortunately, I don't have it to show you, but if you again reference the Bruiser 500 review, pretty much the same box. I think the design changed a little bit, but the same type of packaging. It's pretty cool. So there you go. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you guys soon. Take care.